If you want the best clean and wash experience, you need to catch the happy wave at Tidal Wave Auto Spa. When it comes to caring for your car, don't settle for any wash and pay for all the extras. Get the best when you catch the happy wave at your local Tidal Wave Auto Spa.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your evening update.
Mostly sunny to partly cloudy across the Tennessee Valley on this 4th of July, and it's been hot because of that. We do have a few isolated thunder showers starting to squeeze into the area, though, and they will be around as we head through the evening with more rain for our Friday. It was a hot day at the Lawrenceburg Airport, getting up to 95 this afternoon. Muscle Shoals Airport hit 99 officially, so we have had some locations not far from 100. No rainfall officially measured at the the Lawrenceburg Airport, or Muscle Shoals for that matter, so far today, but that will be changing for most people as we head through the next 24 hours here. This evening, if you're having evening cookouts or if you're doing fireworks after sunset, I do think you're mainly going to be okay. However, there could be a few isolated thunder showers around. Just be mindful of your surroundings. Listen out for thunder in case a storm rolls up. Pay attention to the radar. Be ready to come inside if a storm does roll up. Otherwise, most of us should be fine. Firework time at 9 o'clock, 83 degrees with just a 20% chance of a shower or thunderstorm out there. Most of us otherwise partly cloudy, and that continues through the overnight. Just a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. As we get closer to daybreak, however, showers and thunderstorms will be approaching from the northwest for our Friday. Those shifting here, yes, this is not going to wait until Friday afternoon. Rain will be moving in as early as the morning hours, some of that locally heavy, some rumbles of thunder. Not really expecting any severe weather. There may be an additional round into the afternoon, and how much sunshine between those rounds of thunderstorms we get will determine whether we're into the 80s for daytime highs or if we have enough sunshine to sneak up into the lower 90s. And that will determine whether we have heat index values into the triple digits again or not. Because dew points will still be in the 70s. The cool front won't come in until Friday night to bring lower humidity. So dew points in the 70s tomorrow afternoon. If we do get into the lower 90s, heat index values likely into the lower triple digits again. It's just a question mark on whether we can reach that. But drier air will be moving in tomorrow night. That allows us to get down to the upper 60s to near 70. And then we're going to be lower humidity for the weekend as our frontal system pushes down to the south, shifts rain chances down to the south as well. Northerly wind bringing in a drier air mass for a couple of days. Partly cloudy skies here over the weekend. Daytime highs will be into the lower 90s Saturday and Sunday, but with a lower humidity. So not those triple digit heat index values. And then next week we see showers and thunderstorms come back to the forecast as tropical moisture gets drawn northward ahead of another approaching frontal boundary. Temperatures here the next 7 days. We still have the potential to be hot again for our Friday with the heat index values, but it's going to take sunshine getting us into the lower 90s. If we're stuck in the 80s instead, we won't make that 102 for a heat index. Lower humidity over the weekend keeps heat index values into the 90s. And then next week, we may get daytime highs into the 80s for a couple days as a trough of low pressure develops over the eastern United States, giving us a little bit of heat relief around here, especially by July standards. We are still watching Hurricane Beryl very carefully. Midday recon shows it weakened down to a Category 2. Satellite presentation this afternoon has actually been improving and suggests that Beryl may be strengthening again as it approaches the Yucatan. We will have more recon planes in this evening around 7 p.m., and they will have that information in time for the 10 p.m. Central Time advisory. But here's the latest advisory we have as of 4 p.m. Central Time. Maximum sustained winds were at 110 miles per hour, making this a Category 2, moving west-northwest at 20 miles per hour. On this track, that's making landfall in the northeast Yucatan as we head late tonight and through the morning hours of our Friday, crossing the Yucatan into the western Gulf of Mexico. Still expecting a landfall either in northern Mexico or the middle to southern Texas coast. However, I will say that Beryl's been tracking a little north of the models today, so if I had to guess, I do think it would be the right half of the cone versus the left half of the cone. But the entire cone needs to pay attention for impacts here, likely re-strengthening into at least a minimal hurricane before landfall in the western Gulf Coast. Notice on this track This is no landfall threat to the northern Gulf Coast. Places like Biloxi, Gulf Shores, Mobile, Pensacola, Panama City. This is not a landfall threat for you. However, likely to see increasing rip currents starting tomorrow and lasting through the weekend into early next week. So if you're headed to the Gulf Coast for a 4th of July weekend vacation on the beach, high rip current risk, be aware of that, but no direct landfall from Hurricane Beryl. It will be the western Gulf of Mexico instead. Forecast for tonight, isolated thunder showers possible at any time, but it won't be an all-night rain. It won't be a widespread rain, dropping out of the 90s into the 80s this evening, gradually making the mid-70s towards sunrise, and then showers and thunderstorms likely for our Friday as early as the morning, not waiting until the afternoon. Daytime highs possibly as high as the lower 90s. However, if the clouds and rain hang around long enough, it could keep us in the 80s instead. Sunshine returns for the weekend here. Daytime highs back into the lower 90s, but with lower humidity. And then rain chances return as we head into next week. There's your latest 7-day forecast. I'll be back at 9 o'clock for a final check of your local weather.